This is the first time that I'm speaking about it. It's something that I'll never forget.
A former assistant to Sean Diddy Combs speaking out in a new interview with new allegations about wild parties and
Kristina Khorram, once known as Shah Diddy Combs' right hand, now entangled in a storm of accusations, rumors and allegations. The real shocker is whether she has been secretly playing both sides. Betrayal, heartbreak and stunning claims about what really happened have surfaced. In this explosive legal drama with twists and secrets unraveling, the truth remains uncertain. Buckle up for a wild ride.
Kind of statement. I don't see this statement hurting or helping her. You know, it's one of those innocuous statements that's essentially like, let's wait and see how things turn out. I'm going to be vindicated. You know, that's kind of the standard when it comes to these statements that are made and the individual that are stating it. It's just, like I said, I think the heat is starting to be turned up on a lot of these different cases, criminal and civil.
Kristina Khorram wasn't just any employee for Diddy, she was the force behind the scenes. The gatekeeper to his empire. Diddy himself once praised her on social media, calling her his right-hand woman and crediting her for managing every aspect of his life. She's been my right hand for the last 8 years and has consistently proven to execute and get things done, he wrote in a 2021 Facebook post. Think about it, the man who built Bad Boy Records, launched global brands and dominated multiple industries, said he didn't know how he'd function without her. That's the level of power and trust she held. But with power comes responsibility and apparently a closet full of secrets.
Do you believe a statement like this, and given the allegations against her, does this give you a clue about her potential role in this criminal case? In other words, do you think she could be called as a witness by either the prosecution or the defense?
Yeah, I couldn't imagine any universe where she's not called as a witness by either the defense or the prosecution.
For over a decade, Kristina Khorram stood by Diddy's side, rising from a senior executive in 2013 to his chief of staff in 2020. She managed his businesses, coordinated his personal life, and made things happen. But now her name is tied to something far darker. Khorram has been named in multiple lawsuits accusing her of enabling the very behavior that landed Diddy in legal turmoil, while she vehemently denies any wrongdoing. The sheer volume of allegations raises suspicions and casts a shadow over her once powerful role.
Knows kind of his day-to-day schedule and how he operates, the individuals that he knows, the individuals that came to see him at his office or his home, and she was there during that time period. I believe that she would either be useful for the defense or useful for the prosecution.
Earlier this year, Kristina Khorram broke her silence, addressing what she called horrific accusations against her. I have never condoned or aided the harm of anyone, she stated, nor have I ever slipped anything to anyone. She described the allegations as false, claiming they caused irreparable damage to her reputation and her family's well-being. Her words were carefully chosen, her tone emotional, but was it genuine or a calculated defense strategy with the stakes higher than ever? The truth remains uncertain.
And I know you said he explained all of the items that were involved in these Wild King nights. Did he mention who would participate as well?
A lot of them were unknown to him. He did mention that a lot of the women were very, very young as 20, not underage, but certainly.
Rumors are swirling that Kristina Khorram might have flipped on Diddy, providing key information to federal authorities in exchange for leniency. Could she be fueling the fire now engulfing her former boss? Insiders say her proximity to Diddy gave her access to everything, his plans, operations, and secrets. If anyone knows what really went down, it's her. But things get murky. Some sources claim Khorram has been cooperating with investigators for months, long before the lawsuits against her surfaced. If true, that could explain why Diddy's legal team has gone on the offensive, labeling some allegations as fictional and part of a coordinated attack.
Good morning, Michael. At this point, we've all probably heard about these infamous parties. Diddy's assistant now giving us details about what he says were called Wild King nights.
Kristina Khorram's role as Diddy's chief of staff went far beyond managing schedules and booking flights. According to multiple lawsuits, she allegedly oversaw every aspect of his personal life, including some deeply troubling activities. Former employee Rodney Lil Rod Jones Jr. even compared her to Ghislaine Maxwell in relation to Diddy's alleged misdeeds, a comparison that sent shockwaves through the media. Jones accused Khorram of dismissing concerns about Diddy's behavior with comments like, "You know, Sean will be Sean." He also claimed she downplayed physical encounters as friendly horseplay, telling employees it was just Diddy's way of showing he likes you. If true, these accusations suggest she was not just a bystander but an active enabler.
A lot of times you have him with a younger female. There's a power dynamic there. A more impressionable girl is easier to reel in. Consent is between the people that are engaging, and I wasn't there in these situations to understand the consent.
Kristina Khorram's alleged role didn't stop at managing Diddy's life. According to multiple lawsuits, she was deeply involved in organizing his infamous parties, events now central to the allegations against him. These weren't ordinary celebrity gatherings but elaborate multi-day affairs shrouded in secrecy and filled with high-profile guests. Some claims suggest Khorram handled everything from coordinating logistics to fulfilling certain special requests. One former assistant alleged she would alert him when Diddy planned an event, sending him on frantic errands to stock up on supplies and prepare the venue after the parties. The same assistant claimed he was tasked with cleaning up the aftermath, which he described as pure wreckage.
In the moment, it just felt like, what? Like, is this fun for him? Is this like a test?
It doesn't end there. Another former employee, Phil Pines, alleged in a lawsuit that he once saw Diddy kick a woman outside his Miami home during one of these infamous gatherings. Pines claims that when he reported the incident to Kristina Khorram, she told him to never speak of it again and warned of serious repercussions if he did. This raises a chilling question: how much did Khorram know, and how far was she willing to go to keep things quiet? The lawsuits don't just portray her as an enabler, they suggest she was a key player in a much larger operation. Some allegations claim she was responsible for hiring and paying individuals to attend these parties and even arranging special guests for Diddy's private gatherings. Even more shocking is the claim that she allegedly instructed employees to carry certain items at all times, suggesting a level of preparation and control far beyond a typical chief of staff. If true, her motives and loyalties are now under intense scrutiny.
Listen to this description, because there was a whole section of that complaint dedicated to Kristina Khorram, where Rodney Jones basically makes the allegation that Kristina Khorram is the Ghislaine Maxwell to Sean Combs' Jeffrey Epstein. That's what it says. And of course, we know that she has been the associate of deceased financier Jeffrey Epstein, who ended up getting convicted of trafficking charges, sentenced to 20 years.
Why would Kristina Khorram, someone with so much to lose, allegedly go along with these activities? Some speculate it was about self-preservation. When you're that close to someone as powerful as Diddy, it's easy to get swept up in their orbit. Others believe there's more to the story, suggesting she was complicit out of ambition, loyalty, or fear. Now, with the spotlight on her, those same forces could be pushing her to cooperate to save herself.
Well, I think it's heating up, and I think she has to make that statement at this point because a lot of people are making accusations. I'm sure there's an issue in terms of the federal investigation and what's going on with the federal investigation, and if they're going to be interviewing her or using her as a witness. So my belief is all those things are coming to a head.
Kristina Khorram denies all of this. She insists she's innocent and being unfairly targeted because of her association with Diddy. Maybe she's right. It's easy to point fingers when someone is caught in a scandal this massive, but the timing of her statements, along with rumors of her cooperation with investigators, has many wondering if there's more to the story. As lawsuits pile up and allegations against Diddy grow more damning, Khorram's role in this saga becomes even more pivotal. Is she a scapegoat, a victim of circumstance being dragged down by her former boss's alleged misdeeds, or is she a key player now trying to rewrite her narrative by cooperating with the very people investigating him? One thing is certain: the truth, whatever it may be, has the potential to upend not just her life but the lives of everyone involved in this unfolding scandal.
In normal trafficking cases, you think of something a lot different than those accusations, and I do believe that she didn't know the details of everything that was going on. I don't really find it plausible to believe that she didn't know anything was going on.
As Diddy's legal troubles grow, his inner circle is crumbling. Khorram isn't the only former associate to break ranks, and betrayals keep piling up. It's a scenario eerily similar to another infamous figure whose allies turned against him, leading to his downfall. Could Diddy be on the same path? And if so, what role will Khorram play in his unraveling?
She's employed someplace else. I'm sure she has some other business that's going on, and my belief is it's probably hurting those relationships she has being associated with Sean Combs.
Let's pick up where we left off, because this story just keeps getting wilder, with Kristina Khorram's name dominating headlines and her alleged involvement becoming a hot topic. You'd think Diddy Combs would be focused solely on her fallout, but the drama doesn't stop there. The walls are closing in on him from every side, and betrayals are piling up faster than anyone imagined. At this point, Diddy's world seems to be crumbling under the weight of secrets, accusations, and his own inner circle turning against him. So the real question is, how did one of entertainment's most powerful figures find himself so completely isolated?
Did he? Or didn't he? Well, if he didn't, he's got a lot to explain. Well, apparently what Diddy's done now, which is a very interesting thing, is he's on the offensive of sorts. That's right, Sean and Diddy Combs has initiated a $100 million defamation lawsuit.
Diddy built an empire spanning music, fashion, and television, known for his larger-than-life persona, but now as he faces federal charges and a wave of lawsuits, it seems every ally he once had is vanishing into thin air. While Kristina Khorram's alleged betrayal may have been the first domino to fall, she is far from the only one to distance herself from him. His empire, once fortified by loyalty and discretion, is now riddled with cracks, and those cracks are quickly turning into gaping holes. Diddy didn't just build his career on talent alone, he thrived on connections. Big names, big deals, and a carefully curated circle of trusted confidants helped cement his success. But what happens when that trust is shattered? Over the past year, whispers have turned into full-blown accusations, and those closest to him, the ones who knew the most, have started speaking out, while Diddy's team continues to deny all allegations, calling them opportunistic fabrications. The consistency of the claims and the sheer number of voices coming forward are becoming impossible to ignore.
I believe that it opens yourself up to some negligence claims. Again, I don't know if Jay-Z is going to go that far, but certainly I think it does open himself up to some negligence claims. Maybe that was part of the reason why he dismissed with prejudice. I don't know.
Then there's the situation with Jay-Z, and this is where things take a turn. Another titan of the music industry, he has now been dragged into the chaos surrounding Diddy. Allegations have surfaced linking him to some of the same events under scrutiny, and while he has denied everything in no uncertain terms, the rumors alone have made headlines. Speculation is rampant. Did Jay-Z know what was happening? Was he involved, or just collateral damage in Diddy's spiraling downfall? Either way, the association is a PR nightmare, and it's clear that even the most powerful figures in the industry aren't immune to the ripple effects of this scandal.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
Let's zoom out for a moment, because Diddy's current predicament is starting to feel eerily familiar. The parallels to another infamous case, one involving a certain financier whose name became synonymous with scandal, are impossible to ignore. Like Jeffrey Epstein, Diddy is accused of using his wealth and influence to create an environment where boundaries weren't just blurred but completely disregarded, and just like Epstein, his alleged actions were reportedly facilitated by a network of enablers, each playing a role in keeping the machine running smoothly. The big difference: this is unfolding in the court of public opinion just as much as in the actual courts, and the media frenzy is amplifying every twist and turn. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. While Epstein's downfall was largely driven by investigative journalism and whistleblowers, Diddy's situation seems to be unraveling from within. The very people who once protected him are now turning their backs, either out of self-preservation or perhaps some lingering sense of guilt. Khorram pines Jones. They're just the tip of the iceberg, and as more voices join the chorus, the question is no longer if, but when the full extent of Diddy's alleged actions will come to light.
He, of course, is more than annoyed, would be an understatement.
Yeah.
He has a family, and he has a lot to protect, including his brand. But to the extent that he's saying, hey, come after me criminally, that could be likely. Why do I say that? Because in New York, and what's alleged in this complaint is forcible compulsion. What that means in English is that it's saying that he held her down.
What's particularly striking is how isolated Diddy has become. For someone who once seemed untouchable, his current reality couldn't be more different. He's facing not just legal battles but also a complete erosion of his support network, and while his legal team continues to insist that the allegations are baseless, the optics are damning. Every new lawsuit, every new accusation chips away at the carefully constructed image he spent decades building.
Respect to the evidentiary value, yes, it happened 24 years ago, right? More than 24 years ago. But in the allegations, there's a few things. Number one, there's allegation that another celebrity was present at the time, right, in addition to other people. Number two, there's the claim by the victim, right, that she left, that she went and she was seen by a gas attendant who saw her.
What does this mean for Diddy's legacy? Can someone once considered a pioneer in entertainment bounce back from this, or is he destined to become another cautionary tale, a reminder of what happens when power goes unchecked? The comparisons to Epstein suggest the latter, but Diddy's story is far from over. With his trial date looming and the media spotlight only intensifying, the next few months could determine the rest of his life. And what about those who have distanced themselves? Are they truly Innocent or simply trying to save face as the truth emerges, Khorram for one has positioned herself as a victim of circumstance unfairly dragged into the chaos, but her passionate denials haven't silenced rumors about her potential cooperation with investigators. If she is working with authorities, it could spell disaster for Diddy, yet also raise questions about her own culpability. Whether she is a whistleblower or an enabler remains unclear, but one thing is certain: this scandal is far from its final chapter.
Jay-Z is speaking out this morning after the civil suit accusing him and Sean Diddy Combs of was dropped. NBC's Chloe Malas is here with more.
Jay-Z's involvement or lack thereof remains a hot topic. While he has publicly condemned the allegations, the mere association has already tarnished his reputation, but the bigger picture is even more concerning. If Diddy's empire can collapse this quickly, who's to say others won't follow? The ripple effects could be massive, potentially exposing deep systemic issues within the music industry that have been ignored for far too long.
Lawsuit was withdrawn by the accuser's attorney Tony Busby on Friday with prejudice, meaning it cannot be refiled. Now, this lawsuit had originally been filed in December on behalf of a woman only known as Jane Doe, who claimed that Jay-Z and Combs raped her when she was just 13 years old at a house party following the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards.
Diddy's story is a microcosm of a larger reckoning. It's not just about one man's alleged actions, but about the culture of silence and complicity that allowed them to go unchecked. While comparisons to Epstein may seem sensational, they aren't entirely unwarranted. Both cases involve powerful men accused of using their influence to exploit others, leaving behind a trail of victims and enablers. But Diddy isn't Epstein. His story is still unfolding with countless unanswered questions. Will he fight the charges and attempt to clear his name, or will the weight of the allegations be too much to bear? And what about those who have turned against him? Are they heroes for speaking out or opportunists trying to save themselves? One thing is certain: the truth, whatever it may be, will have far-reaching consequences, not just for Diddy but for everyone involved as the scandal continues to unravel.
It could be a disagreement regarding defense strategy. It could be a conflict. It could be a health issue. It really could be anything. And the paperwork doesn't identify it, nor should it. And the fact that Mark Agnifilo is still on the case and the other counsel of record leads me to believe that the judge is going to rubber stamp this motion and grant it.
As the dust continues to settle or perhaps stir even further, it's clear that this is more than just a celebrity scandal. It's a moment of reckoning, a chance to examine the systems that allowed someone like Diddy to rise to power and potentially abuse it. Whether he's guilty or not, the fact that so many people are coming forward suggests that there's more to the story than meets the eye. And for those of us watching from the sidelines, it's a reminder that even the most carefully constructed empires can crumble in an instant. As the drama surrounding Diddy and Kristina Khorram continues to unfold, viewers are left with more questions than answers. Could Khorram truly have been playing both sides? And if so, what does this mean for Diddy's future? And what about the broader implications for the music industry? Are we witnessing a moment of reckoning or just another celebrity scandal? Share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think will happen next in this tangled web of allegations and betrayals? Leave a comment and let the discussion begin. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more celebrity gossip.